Welcome back to another episode of Investing Explained. Here's today's question.
This is a question that we love to ask all of our guests because, whenever you ask somebody a question, they might give you a 2 or 3 minute response, and there's, not a lot of value to be captured in 2 to 3 minutes. But if you can ask a person what their favorite book or a book that influenced them the most, that might be like a 3 or 4 hour response, or maybe even longer, depending on the size of the book. So I find that that's probably one of the best questions a person can ask is the one that you just did. So what I would tell you is this: if you've had a bunch of classes and you're a finance major, I personally really like Joel Greenblatt's book, You Can Be a Stock Market Genius. I think that is a very easy to read book for somebody who has a little bit of background in finance. And he's given you some real nuggets on how to make good money through the implementation of special situations. So I don't think that you're going to get that kind of training in your schooling. And I think that it's something that you can capture a whole lot of value out of a pretty short read. So that'd be my book recommendation for you.
I have 2 book recommendations. The first one would be From Good to Great by Jim Collins. And not so much because all the so-called great companies that he talks about in his book, they're still the best companies out there. Some of them are, some of them are not. But it's more his thought process about evaluating business in general, I think is really helpful, regardless of you're an investor or not, or just a business person in general. And the other book I would like to recommend is Influence by Cialdini. And that's because if you want to master business, you really need to master the human mind and how humans interact with each other. And I think, at least on my part, Influence taught me so much about how we have all these biases and how we behave and why we behave the way we do. And I think that's very important whenever you start your career. You said that you want to be a good all-round investor. I think that could be a potential dangerous road to take. I would recommend that you concentrate on a niche. And I know that this might sound counterintuitive. For instance, to the interview we did with someone like Jim Rogers, one of the best investors in the world. And he talked about the way he got started in investing was really to read up on all the asset classes and saw how they were all linked together. And that way he could value what's the cheapest asset class and like have this macro perspective already when he started out. That might sound like an appealing approach. You're talking about you're looking also at currencies, you're looking at stocks. But I think for most people that are not Jim Rogers, I think it might be biting more off that you can chew, especially when you're starting out. I think I would concentrate on finding a niche that really appeals to you. And then whenever you feel you mastered that, you might go on to another asset class. That's it. Preston and I will continue explaining investing, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button.